Hey, once upon a wild witch. Um, so yeah, I wanted to talk today about a little bit about everything, but more about self-responsibility because I'm not having an issue now with it. I've had an issue my entire life. And let me tell you, for once in my life, I've been responsible, and it's gotten me in a pretty good place. So I was kind of just gonna talk about, our beliefs and choices in life, and when the benefits come, how truly great they are. Because I had an awesome day, and I was starting to I'm not gonna sit here and lecture you guys, but it was like, seriously, I mean, when you feel like you've hit rock bottom, there is always something to look forward to. And I'll explain that later or in a minute, because believe me, you're going to like this. Okay. So, you know, um, I've been by myself, so I have to basically punish myself. Like things I want all the time, I could easily go get, but you gotta kind of like have self discipline. And for teenagers and even young adults, even some adults, like even some elders, need more self discipline and more self responsibility because times like this are hard. I mean, there's just so many things going on that you know like one thing, you could be doing everything right, and then flash, something happens, and it's like, you make one little mistake and it just fucks up everything. And that's kind of what I want to talk about because there's like different examples. Like, you know, it depends on like the type of person you are also. So let's just say, you are good. Okay, this is an example that this is not me. Let's just say you're financially responsible, but you're like dependent emotionally. So basically, you've got a problem. You've got either one problem or two. You are either good with your money, but you're easily emotional. So in a way, it's like you can be really smart with your money and save up all your money and blah blah blah, which I suck at doing. Or you can also have like the flaw of being emotionally just sensitive. So, say someone you love is like, you're really good with your money, but someone you love really wants something, and then it's like, fuck, like, I don't want to do it, but I do, and you like don't know what to do. So, it sucks because shit like that happens, but you have to be responsible in both ways, and how do you do that? Um, and that's kind of like what I want to try to explain, and I'm not going to be able to explain it all, and I know I can talk forever, so I kind of just wanted to put out some basics, and then if you have questions, please ask because I can assure you that I will probably have a good answer. I've just, well, let me just say what I want to say. I have little notes here because there are things that I definitely want to talk about that I might forget to talk about, and if I don't make little notes for myself, I'm gonna get way off track and end up like talking about today or yesterday or tomorrow or something. So let's just see. Okay, another thing, we might be like proactive, working for ourselves, but not for others. I've seen people do that. They'll go above and beyond for themselves and their family, which is completely understandable and responsible. But then other people, like me, okay, when I lived at home with my mom, she'd be like, do the dishes, do this, do that. And I'm like, no. Like, just, I don't know if it was because I was being told to do it, because it was, my mother telling me to do it, or because it was like my dishes that I was just like, whatever. But I would go over to my friend's house and see dishes in the sink and immediately start cleaning them. So it was like my mom would get pissed. She's like, you're over your aunt's house doing her dishes and you won't even do the dishes here. And oh, she would get pissed. And still till this day, I do little things like that. Like, I won't clean her house for her sometimes. Like this sounds horrible, but it's her house. And like my friends and stuff, they can't, some of them, there was reasons why their houses were messy or whatever, and there's reasons why my room is messy, you just don't have time, whatever. But like, it's like one thing when your mom's asking you to do something and she's just sitting there. It's kind of like my husband. He's sitting there complaining about dishes in the sink when we have a dishwasher. And it's like, instead of using all of your energy and bitching about the dishes in the sink, why don't you just put them in the dishwasher? I mean, it's not bothering me right now. I mean, I'm sure it will in a little while, but it's not bothering me, and I'm not bitching about it. So if I was, I'd be putting them in the dishwasher, and it's just like stupid things like that. But anyways, so basically, it's kind of like saying, I could sit there and be like, everybody, you guys should clean, and it's awesome, and it's so much healthier, and clean house, trust God type thing, whatever. But like, sometimes I like messiness. Sometimes neat. When things are too neat, it's like something's wrong. Anyways, so. And I know I don't practice what I preach. I mean, I can sit here and say, like, oh, messy's okay, but, everything around me's neat. And that's just, like, so weird because you have to incorporate you and then, like, the right and the wrong and the responsibility and so many things in it. But let me just finish what I'm trying to say. So let's just say someone can say that you're irresponsible for multiple reasons. Oh, your room's messy or whatever. And they can go on and on and on. But basically, you can make your own little lists and figure out like what ways you're responsible and what ways you're not. I'm going to call this video Dark and Daring because it's kind of a daring thing to do, but you can do it in your own way. And, it can get interesting. So let's just say, okay, like how conscious you are in your daily activities. When you're at work, when you're at school, when you're doing a project or making a phone call or in the office or whatever you're doing. Like, how conscious are you? Are you really fully there, or is your mind on this and that and that and this? Kind of like me with my reading. Okay, I am not basically putting my full attention. And if you really think about it, yeah, sometimes you even think you're putting your full attention into something, and you're actually not. Like a lot of times, like right now, I could sit here and be like, oh, I'm putting my full attention into this video, but I'm really not because, I'm looking around the room as I'm talking and I'm kind of thinking of a million other things. And it's actually throwing me off track. So it's like, it takes a lot of, like what is it called? Not self-control, like mind self-control, I guess. I don't know. It's slipping my mind right now. To actually be able to fully give your full attention to something. I mean, you have to be really interested in it, really want it, really crave it, and daydream about it, and wish and want, and really just like, that's really not putting your attention. Okay, basically all your focus is got to be on it. And let's just say for me, let's say, okay, all right, first of all, it's your free will to decide whether you're going to put your full attention into something or if you're going to half-ass it. Say you're at work and, I don't know, say you're a waitress. That's just a simple example. And, you have to clean your tables, bring the drinks, check on the people, and even run food back and forth, maybe help pick up other tables. That's like full attention. Like, you're there and you're not wasting a minute. You're fully like, oh, okay, I could be doing this and that and that and this, and everything's incorporated into that one subject. Everything is revolving around that one subject. That's like full attention. When you're half-assing something, or you have half your attention or zero of your attention, you don't care if there's, nobody at your old table and there's just dirty plates and dishes sitting there with a check sitting there. You're just sitting there thinking about your boyfriend or, whatever, what you're going to do when you get out of work. Or you can just half-ass it and, okay, yeah, I cleaned my tables, but did you really clean it, or did you just wipe the table off? It's things like that, and like, say you did bust your ass that day at work and you really wiped things down and really busted your ass. And no one seemed to notice. And you're like, what the hell? I just did all of this for what? Like, no one realized, no one appreciated it. Everybody just thinks it's supposed to just happen, like I'm magical or something. Like, I just go poof, and the fucking table's like sanitized. No, it's not like that. So, things like that is where it gets good, because you know you went above and beyond, and you know in your subconscious mind that you should be rewarded for it. So you're going to get rewarded for it. Okay, I've been working so hard to be healthy, getting enough sleep, enough water, which I need right now, cutting down on caffeine, and just doing the right things, just making the phone calls I need to make, all this stuff. And it actually paid off. Like, I never thought it was, but I actually had like a perfect day today. And it's funny because I'm not even sitting here bragging about it. I'm sitting here talking about all the things that got me to today. And I know, sorry, I gotta fix this. I know more days like this are gonna come. Like right now, there's a baby in my belly. And it's like 9 months of this shit is going to suck. Like, full on suck. But in the end, how worth it is it gonna be? It's gonna be pretty worth it. Anyways, 10 minutes later, and I don't even know. So let's see. Okay, another example is, okay, so I was kind of just talking about choices, decisions. Another one's like mistakes, your actions. I tended, when I was growing up, to make excuses for everything. You know, oh, your room's a mess. Oh, well, I didn't have time to clean it. Oh, you were late for school. Oh, well, I stayed up late last night, or my mom had the TV loud, or I couldn't sleep, or, I don't feel good, and just like anything. And it's like, if I thought about all the excuses I made and a percentage of how many of them were actually true, like true, like, okay, yes, part of the reason I was late to school or work was because there was traffic. But was the traffic the real reason why I was late? No. The real reason why I was late was because I didn't leave myself with enough time in case there was traffic. My ultimate decision when I woke up was me assuming there wasn't going to be traffic when there very likely could have been. And things like that. And then, you wonder why you get to work, maybe it's even 2 minutes late. All day is gonna suck because you were that 2 minutes late, and you're just like off track, when instead you could walk in early, and and yeah, it's gonna suck, you're gonna be tired, you're gonna feel like shit, but the day goes on, life goes on, and you're gonna find out like later in the day it's gonna be like, oh wow, this was a good day, but tomorrow I'm gonna sleep in, just because you're gonna feel like you deserve it after having such a big fulfilled day of work and people talking and things happening and life going on around you. And it's just things like that you don't really recognize. And it's even things like, there's something I really want to talk about. Okay, let's just say like your wants, your desires. Realistically, if you want something, you're like, okay, are you responsible for your desires? Are you responsible for your actions, your mistakes, your choices, your daily activities? Because budding and becoming and, well, this happened isn't going to get you to where you want to be. But let's just say, ultimately, realistically, you wanted something. Most likely, probably 9 times or 8 times out of 10, if you want something, you save the money and you go get it at the store. You deserved it. You sacrificed some things. You had responsibility and self-control and self-discipline to save up and go get that one thing you really wanted. Most likely, I'm not talking like, fantasies, dreams, things like that. Even though you can get those things too, believe me. But realistically, if you want something, you end up getting it. I wanted perfumes today, right? Or I've been wanting perfumes for a long time. I went out to get this specific perfume. It was called Black Amethyst from Bath and Body Works. It got discontinued So no, I waited. I've been waiting for this perfume. Just got discontinued a month ago. But I haven't had the money to go get it. And not only that, I didn't know exactly which store it was that I could get it in. I just, my friend had it, smelled delicious. I was craving it. I'm like, it's called Amethyst, blah, blah, blah. So I go there today. Oh, my back. And it's discontinued. So what did they do? It was buy two, get one free, or buy three, get two free. I bought three, got three free, because the lady was like, oh, I'm sorry it wasn't here. I'm going to give you something for free. And then not only that, but you're getting two other things free for buying three things anyway. So I got like 6 different perfumes. Instead of just getting the one that I waited and wanted for a while, I ended up getting 6 for probably the same price I would have paid if they had the black amethyst there, because I would have bought like 3 or 4 bottles. So instead, I got 3 or 4 different sprays, and then I got shea butter and lotion and 4 other different absolutely good smelling sprays. So that's just one example. Another example is I've been dying for Starbucks. Starbucks gets really expensive. What happens today? I go there to get a coffee, and I leave, and I'm all happy because I got my coffee. And that's another thing I want to talk about. One second, this is a good one. So I'm all happy I got my coffee. I always get the cookie crumble, mochaccino, whatever. And I always take the straw and like get all the whipped cream out of the top first with the cookies and stuff. Looking in it, and there's a piece or 2 pieces of black hair like wrapped around the top of it. It took like everything I had not to puke. So, and the other thing was, I didn't flip out. Normally, especially now in this state, I would be flipping out. I went in there and I was like, sorry, but can you see that? And there, she's like looking, and I'm like, it's a piece of hair. She's like, oh my God, that's gross. I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's okay. And I'm just like, stuff happens, even though I was so grossed out. And, and she ended up being really nice about it. She gave me a coupon for a free coffee next time, remade my coffee this time, and so now I get to get a coffee tomorrow for free. But, things like that. And then just staying calm in the situation, even though you're, like, furious, like, that's gross. Like, I didn't even want another coffee. Like, my stomach's turning just thinking about it. And then, of course, I got cookie crumble, so I'm sitting in the car driving, drinking it, and I keep getting, like, the little pieces of cookie, and all I could think, I'm like, hair. Every little crumble in my mouth, I'm like, hair. It was gross. Anyways, so I'm just all over the place once again. But with things you want in waiting and the sacrifice of waiting and whatnot, you end up getting exactly what you want. Things aren't going to be like, oh, I want that bang right there. In a lot of reasons why people don't get what they want or aren't where they're supposed to be or where they want to be is because they're not really they don't really want it, or they're not taking the steps to get there. They're kind of trying to skip class but still get an A, or like me, show up late and do all the homework and study for tests, but I'm late every day. It's like you gotta really be there, like your focus, attention, attendance. You gotta put your all into it. It can't just be in your head. Like, I've done things like, the law of attraction. So I can sit there and be like, I'm gonna get a check in the mail. I'm gonna get a check in the mail. I'm gonna get a check in the mail. But if I don't go out and explore and maybe get a job, there's not going to just be a check in the mail. Like, yes, that could very well happen, and it has happened, but you also have to take the steps to making it happen, and then it will just kind of happen, like, times 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope this is making sense. I was saying I said I was going to talk about self-responsibility, and this is along the lines, but, opposed to, like, let's see, things like, oh, I was afraid, so I turned down the job opportunity. You know how many things I'm afraid of? And not that many, actually. But I used to be afraid of a lot of things. Like, even sometimes I'd be afraid to go to school. Like, oh my God, I forgot my homework, and I'd be afraid to go. Some people, like me, I don't have my homework, so I'm just not going to go to school. I was afraid, so I didn't go to a job opportunity. Okay, well, I was afraid to go to school because I didn't have my homework. But I ended up in bigger shit by just not going to school at all because of the homework than going there without the homework. You know, it could be I felt impatient, so I drove recklessly. You gotta have some self-control, you know? And this is just, I know everybody's gonna be like, okay, that's all common sense. But, like, today I saw an accident. And it was sad. You know, I'm having this great day, and then I see this little tiny, I see all these big cars and this little tiny red motorcycle on the ground. And it must have been a hit and run because there was no other cars. Like, shit like that, it's just like, come on. Like, what was where you were going really that important? Like, I don't know. That's why you gotta give yourself enough time, and it could be, a life or death situation. You might lose your entire job if you don't get there on time. But think about what you're gonna lose and what other people are gonna lose if, you hit someone on the way. It's just like simple things like that. You just gotta have responsibility. And it's like, oh, well, my boss said if I didn't get there, I was fired, and this and that, and my whole family would be screwed. Like, yes, I understand. Trust me, of all people, I understand. And this is, probably a pretty shitty example to use, but it is that serious. Like, you really have to think about it, because I didn't think about things like this growing up. Let's just say I was 19 years old. Someone said that they were going to hurt themselves, and what did I do? Jumped in my car, shit-faced as fuck, thinking that I was going to save them. Sorry, I'm not going to be saving any lives driving shit-faced. Like, hello? Oh, I'm going to go save someone, even though I'm probably going to kill someone on the way there. Like, hello? Is there a brain in here? Not when I'm drinking, I'll tell you that much. That's why I don't drink anymore. Why I couldn't just do that a couple of years ago, before I was even old enough to drink, is beyond me. So easy not to drink. And then the most important part of this was about your beliefs and values by which you live, how you prioritize your time. Like, for teenagers, okay, let's just say, like, your homework. Do you really put that much time in your homework? Also, like, for me, companions. This is a good example for teenagers, like your companions. Like, are you responsible enough? Okay, if you're hanging out with bad people, you're responsible for that. You can't be like, oh, well, it's not my fault they're bad. I still want to hang out with them. Like, you gotta be smart. And you can act stupid so that people don't think you're smart, and then you can surprise them every once in a while when they're talking and they don't think you don't know what they're talking about, and you do. I don't know, stuff like that. But you can't, like, I used to be like, oh, well, they made me hang out with them. And it's like, no, they didn't. They didn't make me hang out with them. And then some people say, people will say things, and you'll want to say, like, oh, they made me feel this way. They said this, and they said that, and that's why I feel like this. But you gotta decide, like, okay, that's their opinion. It's not a fact. It's not written. Whatever they're saying about me, fuck it. Like, who cares? Let them say it. I mean, I could say a whole bunch of shit about them. Is it true? No. I could say, anything. Anything, like, that person looks like an alien. Does that mean they actually look like an alien? No. I mean, I'm not one to talk because someone says something about me and I'm like, really? And then I start, like, looking, and I'm like, is there something wrong with me? And it's just like stuff like that. Like, you just can't let people get to you. And I'm a Scorpio, I get really sensitive, and I love people. So, it matters to me what they think. But if I go through my whole life being so concerned about what they thought my entire life, where the hell would I be? I'd be sitting on their doorstep like, do you think I look okay now? Or does my nose look better now? And it's like you're always asking for an okay from them, like they're gonna be like, yes, you are now good to go, and you are perfect, and I will never say a bad word about you again. No one's gonna do that, and it's shit like that that kills me when I see like people or you know, my teenage cousins all upset about stuff like that. Um, Stuff like that just pisses me off. Anyways, I had a point. Basically, overall, you're responsible for your happiness. And I am finally realizing, 24 years old, that I am responsible for that. No one else can make me happy but me. What made me happy is Wicca. Let's just say, all right, I'm going to ask everybody or whoever's watching to make a list, if you can, of 50 to 100 things that make you happy. Guarantee you, none of you can even come up with 50 things. And if you can, then you don't need to do this at all. But try to come up with 50 things. You can start big or go to small, or start small and go to big. But, eventually you're going to look at your list and you're going to be like, there's really nothing on it. There's like 8 or 9, maybe 10 to 20 things on it that make me happy. Now try, for the next 3 days after you make that list, try going about your day without doing anything you do. Say you wake up in the morning and you go brush your teeth. Don't brush them one day. Completely eliminate your habits, your daily routines. Oh, you wake up and put the coffee pot on. You jump in the shower. You just eliminate 1 or 2 of those things. Obviously you need to brush your teeth. Not really many people get happy from brushing their teeth anyways. But just think about things like coffee. Maybe there's a specific way you walk to work or school, whatever. Try a different way. And try to go without those things that you always do for like a day or 2. And you'll start to realize, you'll either explore a new thing or get a new routine, and that'll make you happy. Or you'll realize, damn, I didn't realize how my morning coffee kind of made my morning. Or how the specific way I walk to school or to work or to wherever I'm going all the time is a nice scenery, which is better than this one. Or, if you make, a phone call to your family a certain time every day, maybe try a different time. You'll notice they're in a total different mood. Maybe you don't like calling, friends or family because it seems like every time you call them, they're in a certain type of mood. Try not calling them one day and then calling them at a different time another day. Some people, there's people have their ups and downs. You might just so happen to call them at a bad time every day. Either they're just getting out of work, or they're really tired, or they need a nap, or they're hungry and they're trying to cook, or whatever, or they're annoyed, with, a certain part of the day. It's simple. Just change things up. And I guarantee you, if you try to go write the list of things that make you happy, it'll get a lot bigger. You'll realize, okay, even it could be like a routine like this. You do your hair right when you get out of the shower. Try letting your hair dry. and get all the stupid little silly things done and then doing your hair. You'll notice it's a lot less stressful because you've let it dry, you've gotten a whole bunch of other things accomplished. And this is just stupid little examples. I don't know why I have to use like dummy examples, because I know nobody's really that dumb, but I tend to go off track by my examples. They're kind of not good examples. But it just, I think I made my point right in the beginning, and now I'm not making any sense. Sometimes I just need to say my point and shut up. But you'll realize what's making you happy. And once you're without something, like, whatever it is, I know you guys have things, like your phone, okay? Leave your phone somewhere. I bet you on your little list of what makes you happy wasn't a cell phone. I doubt you had like my cell phone makes me happy on there. You might have, because some people are obsessed. But I know if I was making a list of things that made me happy, I wouldn't have wrote my cell phone. Sorry, I just wouldn't. That's just me. It's just a fucking cell phone. Yeah, I enjoy the apps and enjoy talking to my family, but that's not something that makes me happy. I mean, that's just kind of like a necessity. Kind of like to most people will probably be coffee. I mean, if you've been drinking coffee for years, you're not gonna be like, oh, coffee's not gonna make me happy. That's like something I need, and it's kind of old now. Maybe try a different flavor. I don't know. I'm just being stupid. I'm exhausted, but I've had a wonderful day, and I'm just telling you, crack down and do the shit you don't want to do, or just cut the things out that you don't really, you're starting not to appreciate as much as you used to, and you'll start to appreciate it again. And little things like that will make you happy. And yeah, it's like, okay, what's going to make me happy for a few minutes? No, it'll change your whole entire day, maybe even your week. Sometimes it'll change your life. Things like that. And I've learned too a lot of things that I don't want to do. Like when I was younger, I didn't want to do anything my mom said. Now I'm like, why the fuck didn't I listen to her? If I just listened to her, stop hanging out with that person. I didn't want to go hang out with so and so down the street, or I wanted to hang out with that person. They were my companion, my best friend. They were not my best friend. It's kind of like the same thing, people are like, oh, you want to go to the store? And you're like, no, I just want to sit here and play this game. Or I just want to sit here and read this book. But half the time, I'm like, okay, I know if I go to the store with them, it'll make them happy, even though I just want to sit here and read. I'll go to the store, and it'll be like a hilarious adventure. Or we'll go to the store, and something crazy will happen. We'll see someone we know, or we'll see someone, like an animal do a funny thing, or whatever, or we'll meet someone cool. Things like that. And then I'm always happy I went to the store. It's like things you don't want to do end up being the things you're glad you did. So don't forget that. I know a lot of people are like, if you do everything right, you're not going to have any memories. Like, you're not going to remember the times you went to class. You're going to remember the times you missed class. Like, stupid things like that. There's always a vice versa. So it's like, think about things. Like, open your mind. Like, I like to think outside of the box. And I tend to do that best when I get into, like, creative things. Making a bracelet, a necklace, decorating the house. Like, now that I've finally gone into decorating and making me show and expressing myself a lot better than I used to, I'm like in love with my house. I'm just happy. I wake up in a better mood. Things are neater, more organized. I used to be so unorganized. Just things like that. They're like, there are just things that are out there that you don't even know are out there. And sometimes you just got to explore and get off the comfy grounds, the stomping grounds you're so used to. Like my Nana right now, she's lived in Massachusetts her whole life. She owns this house. She raised my mother there. She raised me there. And she's scared to leave. And like, she is like stressing herself out to the limit. Like, she does not want to leave. And it's like, Do you realize there are murders going on? An old lady just got robbed and shot by her next door neighbor so that he could go buy drugs. I'm sorry, I don't want my Nana living there. No, 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 no. So, and she doesn't want to move. And it's like, are you nuts? Do you have any idea how beautiful California is? Do you have any idea how anywhere but shitty asshole butt fucking massive asshole Massachusetts is? Like, so just shitty. Like, do you have any idea how shitty it is? I don't even know if I just made sense in what I just said, but oh yeah, it made sense because it sucks. That's my final statement. um, and she's just threatened. She's like so scared to move, and she has no idea what she's missing out on. Like, she really wants to, I don't know, she's crazy. She's got her heart set on staying there, and I'm like, you are missing out. And I need help on like what I could possibly say to her or do to make her realize like there's so much better things and people out there. Like, she thinks she's going to be stuck in the house because she doesn't have a license and no one's going to help her. It's like, are you kidding me? Out here, the neighbor will come knock on your door. Like, do you need help with your groceries? Like, in Massachusetts, if someone comes over to you to do that, you're going to be like, what do you want? You trying to rob me? Like, or they're probably trying to get your purse or some shit. No one's really there to help you. There's always something in it for them. But yeah, so anyways, that was kind of just like a ranty thing. Today was Tuesday, so I wore black. Today's colors were red, black, scarlet, orange. I'm pretty sure last week I wore red or orange. Today's crystals were, bloodstone. Oh, I got more crystals today. I always keep them in my little seashell thing. Another creative thing you can do. The foods, herbs, and spices, allspice, peppers, carrots, garlic, ginger. I had garlic, I had peppers. Today, tarot cards, 5 of Wands, 6 of Wands, strength, essential oils, basil, ginger, pennyroyal, and pine. Oh yeah, I don't know if I told you the crystals and stones. Bloodstone, garnet, ruby, red jasper. This is all for Tuesday. The quote, seize the day for Horus. I like that quote. Planetary influence, Mars. Men's Day. Oh yeah, this is Men's Day. Sports, exercise, all that good stuff. Flowers and plants, holly, snapdragon, and thistle. Metals, iron. And the deities are Mars, Tu, and Lilith. I love Lilith. Lilith is awesome. I've worked with her, and she is amazing. Oh my god, I don't feel good. Here's another good quote, a meditation quote too. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. Interesting. I so want to continue on, but I have a 40-minute long video. This is so not going to work. Oh my god. Anyways, blessed be. I'll see you guys later.